Hey, so I'm once again recording in my car, but for a very particular reason. Now, as everybody knows, I work at Walmart, and the Walmart I work at just started putting up their back to school supplies, so this is definitely filmed way in advance. And the markers that, like, you know, they have like Crayola markers, everybody wants Crayola markers. They have our brand markers for 50 cents, and I'll put the screenshot here that I did pay 50 cents for these markers, and I didn't think about this video until after I bought them, or like recording it, because I was like, I wonder if Target has their brand markers. So I looked it up online, and they do have Mondo Llama, whatever the fuck it's called, for 50 cents, and it's like the knockoff Crayola. So I wanted to do this video to compare store brand, cheap as fuck, water-based Crayola knockoffs to see, of course, which is better. Now, I'm already gunning for Walmart because I fucking hate Target, and also because I work at Walmart, I do get a 10% discount, so I actually got petting gear markers for 45 cents, but these are gonna be 50. So I'm gonna run in there, see if I can grab them, and also get a drink because I'm waiting for my fiance to come out of a store, and I don't know how long they're gonna be in there for, and it's hot as balls. So let's go into Target, see if we can find these markers, and let's hope for the best. I really wish that I recorded the Walmart markers, me picking them up and talking about this video beforehand, but I got them when I was leaving work and I didn't have this phone to record. I think this Target has their seasonal in the back of the store. I hate Target, but every time I come in here, oh no, they changed it. This used to be the Pokemon aisle. I was gonna say every time I come into this Target, I always look to see if they have the Pokemon stuff, and they never do. There's like Crayola. But that's the brand I want, but I don't want to pay $3.50. Oh. 50 cents. And these are like identical to the Walmart brand ones. Haha, markers acquired. I fucking still hate Target. Everybody in there is a bitch. Everybody in there has the same like, oh, I'm a Valley girl bullshit. Fuck you. Why are you staring at me because I'm wearing an iron long t-shirt? Like, I know I don't belong in there. Shut up. I'm fucking just buying markers. I hate vlogging in public, but I'm still just like, content. But now I have to wait for my fiance to come out of the interview, and I should have brought my sketchbook to at least swatch, but whatever. I wouldn't want to swatch these without the other ones, though, let's be so real. So I'll see you back at the house, and we will compare the two together. Okay, excuse the fan, it is currently like 85 degrees out, but we have both sets of markers. Now each of these, at the time of recording, were 50 cents a box, except for these. Since I work at Walmart, I got these for 45 cents a box. So what I want to do is a swatch comparison on a nice clean piece of hotel paper, because I'm pretty sure these colors are near identical, if not the same. Obviously distributed by different companies. These ones are made in Thailand, and these ones are made in India. But I want to swatch them real quick, see how they look, see how the formulas compare. And these have also been sitting in my car for like 2 weeks, because I was just like embarrassed to bring them in the house. And could I have just compared one of these to Crayola? Yes. Am I that annoying? Yes. I will say, as much as I hate Target, props to the Mondo Llama. This box is very sturdy. Penning gear, this box is falling apart. They're out of order of each other. I don't like that. I hate saying it, but the Mondo Llama have more weight to them. Ugh, not a good start for my girl Walmart. See, I'm gonna do a quick swatch, and we'll go from there. Okay, with all the swatching done, I do notice a couple things. Like, first of all, this gray is a very green gray compared to this one. The formulas are a little bit stronger in petting gear than they are in Mondo Llama. Like, this red is just a touch more vibrant than this one, but except for this pink is a lot more vibrant than this one. The green is also a little bit darker up here, and the blue is significantly darker than this one, other than the black. So these ones definitely have a higher saturation compared to these ones. And also the nibs. So this one has like, this is the petting gear. These ones have like the classic Crayola nib, while the Mondo Llama are very, very pointed. I don't know if you can see that, yeah. They're very pointed. So my goal is to make an illustration with half and half, and I wanted this to be symmetrical, but I kind of got carried away. And this is the line art I came up with. Oh, my hand's too hard. There we go. I wanted it to be more symmetrical, but then I thought if Zorowa is half of, like, his face is half in, and then Jolteon's face is half in, Jolteon's butt's half in, like this way, it should be okay. And it's also a pretty decent comparison between the two of them. So I'm going to see how these compare to each other. I'm going to do this side, the Mondo Llama, and then this side, the penning gear. and we'll just see how they perform, because as of right now, the colors are pretty okay. And I mean, it's a basic set of 10. I'm gonna have to layer, which layering markers is no new thing for me. I'm actually just gonna put the penning gear away just so I'm not inclined to grab them while I'm working on the first half. And these will all just go in my marker box at like the end of this. Alrighty, so we are finally to the coloring portion of this video, and I have to say, I kind of had a lot of mixed feelings with either of these markers. Now, I'm a Crayola girly through and through. I do use a lot of random brands of water-based markers in my sketchbook art, and I do use a lot of Crayola, mostly like the Colors of the World set. But these two brands are very, very different from what I know as classic Crayola. As I showed that some of the colors are different, I could tell that the ink formula is different, the nibs are different, and I guess I'll just start with the first half of the illustration, which goes in order. I work on the left side first, which is the Mondo Llama, mostly because I am a forever Target hater. I very much so dislike Target. I don't like going into Target. I don't like the people that go into Target. I don't like the prices of Target, because I feel every time I go into Target, I'm being shamed, I'm being judged, I feel poor. A lot of the stuff is landfill core. The clothes are ugly, the jewelry is ugly. I don't like Target. But when I saw that these markers were the same price as the Walmart brand, I was like, screw it, I'll do a comparison video. So for the first half of the video, I started off with coloring Zorua, and that took 4 markers on its own, because Zorua's skin, or like, not his skin, his fur, I guess, is a very muted purpley color. And just like I did my Crayola artwork, like almost 2 years ago by now, I did some Crayola crayon videos and I drew Zorua with Comfy, and I couldn't remember Comfy's name 2 weeks ago. It's Comfy. But I remember I shaded up and built his color with like purples and blues and grays. So I did the exact same thing here. I started off with a layer of blue, and then I built up to purple, and then I toned it down with some gray, then I shaded with the black. Also, because the neck portion is also black, I did basically the exact same thing, but I just did 2 extra layers of black and no layer of gray. And now I know I did not have the right color for his eyes. Zorua's eyes are very light blue, but I only had 1 blue, so I just shaded over it a few times. And then the red was not very red. It's red. You color over a couple times, that gets red, but 1 layer is like a very light red, which is perfect because I just wanted to layer 1 quick layer of red, and I tried to shade it with orange thinking, oh, it'll be fine. And the orange kind of lifted the red, but was very easy for me to go back over with the red to darken the color to add proper shading. So that part was fine. And then when I moved on to the half of Jolteon, I'm like, I don't have any colors that can shade this yellow, because the orange is too vibrant, the brown is way too dark. So I'm left with like pink, red. So I ended up shading it in with pink, but then I just colored on top with the yellow, since the yellow will tone down that pink. And I don't know what it is with the formula, but it's almost like this pink is a highlighter pink. I mean, it worked pretty well for what I had to do. The shading looks okay. It looks like that light orangey color, because in the anime, Jolteon is more of a yellowy orange, so having such a warm pinky shading was actually very nice. And I noticed it with Zorua and also the Ultra Ball. These Mondo Llama markers, they layer okay if you're layering 2 colors. So you layer on the pink and then you go back over it with yellow not too long later. You're fine. It layers on nicely. It doesn't rip up the paper. But when you start getting into like multiple layers, that's when the paper will start to eat up, and that's just what happens with water-based markers. So that's also why a lot of people prefer alcohol markers, and I do have alcohol markers. They're just downstairs in storage, and I don't have my whole collection up and ready to go as of right now. I know how to work with water-based markers, and I can make nice art with them, so I went with that. The grass, I know I wanted it to be yellow-green, and then the bushes be like a blue-green, so when I shaded the grass, first you put down the blue for shading, and then you do the green, cover the whole base, and then just go over it with yellow. And I love the way that grass color turned out on the left-hand side. And then even the flowers with their pinks, I like the way this whole bottom part came out. The bush, I really like the color of the bush, and I decided to go with orange berries. They're kind of like my go-to Pokemon berry because they're super simple. They're blue circles. Boom, orange berry. And then, the sky, I just did plain blue, and then went to the tree, just a couple scribbles of black, couple scribbles of purple, and then went over it with the brown. All in all, I kind of like the pennant or the Mondo Llama ones. I felt that the nibs were too dense, And this is going to sound crazy, but I felt that some of the colors were just a smidge too vibrant. Like for children, I would say yes, vibrant colors are nice, but as somebody who's experimenting with color theory, I don't really like neon colors to begin with. I hate neon markers, highlighters. I don't like neon colors. So how vibrant the one side is, I'm like, okay, for how it is and how I got this to layer, I'll take it. It looks okay. And then we go comparing it to penning gear. The colors are darker. Some of them are a little more muted, and I prefer slightly muted colors. So seeing them side by side, I'm like, oh no, it looks kind of bad. I'm gonna be so real. I think I had more of a problem layering colors with penning gear than I did with Mondo Llama, especially up in where like Zoroa's area is. I did the exact same color combination, and on the right hand side, he looks more blue, and I was afraid to go back over it with purple because I didn't want to overshadow anything. So he's just a bit more blue than I would have wanted. But it's not like it's terrible. Like if you cover up the one side, it's like, oh, that can be a color choice, but compared to the other, he's just too blue. And I'm really tempted to go back over it with the purple, but like I mentioned, I'm afraid of overworking it. And I honestly don't even think I used the red for the penning gear because all of the red was on the Mondo Llama side. So when that Zoro was super easy to color, so I just went right into Jolteon, did the same color shading with the pink instead of any other color. And I like the way this pink layers on the yellow better. I feel this pink it's more muted, it's pulled back, and it makes a nicer, more cohesive shading color compared to the Mondo Llama. But for 50 cents, like, what are you gonna do? Be like, ooh, I don't like them. Another thing with the penning gear, because I layered a lot of color on Jolteon's eyes and ear, and I noticed very, very quickly that penning gear bleeds through my really thick paper a lot easier than Mondo Llama. I layered a lot of colors on the Ultra Ball side the Ultra Ball on the Mondo Llama side, and I feel like I layered even less on Jolteon's ear, but it bled through. I had a feeling it was going to bleed through, so I had to move a little piece of paper on the back, and sure enough, it bled through. But it was like mostly only on the ear that did that. Everywhere else where I was aggressively layering, it did ghost through the paper, but it didn't bleed through. And then I just used the same coloring technique, same coloring patterns with the blue shading, green base, yellow top for the grass, and the grass is very dark. It's darker on that side. I actually prefer the lighter side for the grass, but I like the formula of the pen and ink gear better. I like the nib. It's a lot softer, and I feel that the color just spread a little easier with that kind of nib. I do want to say that I do like the vibrant pink for the flowers more than the muted pink, but that's also because you think pink flowers, you think boom, in your face pink flowers. The shading for the bush went about the same, so the bush is a little darker than the other side, which I did add some purple undertones just to keep some of the other shading. Same thing with the trees, scribble black, scribble brown, or scribble black, scribble purple, scribble brown, color that in. And then the sky, of course, that's the easiest one you can see besides the grass. It is significantly darker in the sky. So I guess my final thoughts and opinions on either marker, and I'm not just saying it because I got them for 5 cents cheaper, but I think I would go for penning gear over Mondo Llama. Also considering that the Mondo Llama ones also just felt dry, and that could also be from the nib being so hard. Like the green, I felt like it was drying out so fast. Like it felt patchy. I don't know how to explain it. It was specifically the green, but I liked how juicy the penning gear ones felt. I mean, I like the way this illustration came out. I like kind of like the half and half style. I would say from a distance for the Pokemon, really. Well, I mean, yeah, you can definitely see it. Severe difference. I'm looking at it from like a distance and I'm like, oh, that's a big old difference. Yeah, I know. If you're looking for some cheap markers to expand your water-based marker collection, if you just want to doodle in your sketchbook, work on color theory, I highly suggest the penning gear markers, and they also have them in washable. The only reason I did not get those, not only because they were 25 cents more, was because I feel washable formulas are very different than classic formulas. And also, I'm not sponsored by Walmart or Target. I work for Walmart and I fucking hate Target. I do enough for Walmart, and especially as much as I bash on Target, I really feel like they would never ever sponsor me, and not that I ever would. And also, nobody's gonna fucking sponsor me. I have 350 subscribers and I barely get 10 views average video. Like, no one's gonna sponsor me, at least not yet. Yeah, for a 45-cent pack of markers, not bad, not bad. And then I just used like a regular gel pen to add highlights, and yeah, super easy to color. I really like the line art. I freaking love Pokemon, and honestly I think this is mostly inspired because this is Pokemon's 30th anniversary coming up this year, and it is also Pokemon Go's 10-year anniversary that just passed. So I've got Pokemon on the brain because it's everywhere. But I'm happy with the way this came out, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Of course, use whatever art supplies you feel inclined to use. Do not let me influence you in any way. This is just me talking about my personal preferences, because let's be so real, after back to school time, ends, these markers are gonna go back up to like $2.50 a pack. And at that point, you might as well just spend the extra 25 cents or whatever and get Crayola. But for back to school time, just something to expand your collection. Not bad for 50 cents and definitely not bad for 45 cents. I technically could have got them for free. I had Walmart cash. I just chose not to. That's how much of a good person I am. So I'm just going to leave it at that and say thank you guys so much for watching. And I will see you guys next week with something I don't know yet. Bye.